Hi, Caleb with Brownhouse here. In today's video, we're going to be installing the Law ARIC, or AR internal carrier. So the ARIC is designed to be completely backwards compatible with your already set up AR with the Law folding adapter. So what the ARIC does is allow your firearm to be chambered and fired from the folded position with said adapter. So let's get started with the installation. So let's go ahead and throw on our safety glasses, and we can get started with the disassembly. Alright, so what we're going to need to do here is remove our bolt carrier group and our recoil, or buffer and spring. So, to make that bolt carrier group disassembly a little bit easier here, we'll remove our Law component, push that back in, and then from here we can just go ahead and remove that buffer and spring assembly. And we can open up our receiver with that rear takedown pin. And set our bolt carrier group aside with the other parts. Now we want to keep these parts together because, like we said before, it is backwards compatible, so you can switch back to it at any point in time. So the next thing we need to do is clean the chamber and lubricate that upper receiver. And in order to do that, we're going to need to use a chamber brush. This right here is the chamber brush. Now the reason we need to use this is because we need to clean the backside of those lugs so that the ARIC is properly broken in to the upper receiver. Alright, so we'll insert our chamber brush all the way into the chamber here. And just give that a few turns there. And that's all there is to it. So now, before we get to the actual installation process, we're going to go ahead and test fit the cup and then lubricate the carrier. So this right here is how the ARIC comes. And the cup portion I'm referring to is this piece on the back right here. And this will just slide right off. Now with this flange piece facing upward and the solid portion facing the rear, we're going to go ahead and slide it into our lower. Now, holding down the button on your folding device, we're going to slide this back and forth. This should move nice and freely, as this one does, so this is a correct fit. Alright, and if it does not go freely, like this one does here, it's binding right at the front there, the first thing we need to check is going to be the set screw on the side of the folding device. And in order to fix this situation, we're just going to take a 3/32 Allen wrench. We're going to loosen, then we're going to recheck the fit. Alright, now we're good. So now what we need to do is snug that screw back up just snug enough so that it doesn't bind with the component. And now we're good to go. Alright, so now that we have proper fitment of our flange, we can go ahead and move on to lubrication. So, what we're going to need to do here is take the ARIC, and we're going to take a bottle of your favorite liquid gun lubricant. And the first parts we're going to lubricate are just going to be your standard AR lubrication points. We have our top rails up top here. We'll put a bit of oil there on both sides. And we'll hit the bottom rails. And then that cam pin itself right there, we'll drop some oil down in there. Sides of our gas key. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put some drops on our guide rod for these springs here, just as you would on your semi-auto pistols. And where the springs contact the bolt carrier, we're going to go ahead and drop some down there, both sides. Our rear retaining plate, we'll drop some on there. Alright, and now we just need to lubricate the cup. We'll pull that out, then drop some oil on this inside portion here, as well as the opposite side, and slide the cup back over the ARIC, and now everything's properly lubricated. An important thing to note for proper break-in is to ensure that you generously lubricate the ARIC. So let's go ahead and jump right into the installation. It installs very similar to your AR-15 standard bolt carrier group. So we're going to make sure that the bolt is in the forward position. We can pull back our charging handle, insert, and go all the way in. Alright, so from here, what we need to do is put spring tension on the back of the cup. And we're going to line up the finger on the back of the cup, I'll show you here, with the top of the upper receiver, and it's going to ride in that upper receiver. So as we push that in, we'll close it. Now the next thing we need to do is just go ahead and secure that rear takedown pin. Alright, so with that pin secure, we can go ahead and hit the button on our folding mechanism here, and the cup should come out the back. Now, to ensure that the cup is, or the system itself is properly installed, we'll just go ahead and take a look at that guide rod and make sure it's behind the debris hole. So if your cup isn't seating properly, here's a few things to check. First of all, make sure that your buffer and spring are removed because they will push and put tension on the back of the cup. And of course, as we did before, make sure that you have proper tension on that screw, just as we did earlier. And then the last thing to check, just make sure you hit that button so the cup can actually clear and stick out the rear. Alright, so now we can go ahead and check the ARIC, and I'll just pull it off the stand here, cycle it a few times, lock that bolt to the rear, hit the bolt release, and I'll do the same thing with the stock in position here. And everything's working great. Now you're ready to head to the range. So now we can go over removal of the ARIC for cleaning and lubrication. Alright, so first things first, let's put our safety glasses back on. And now we're going to go ahead and clear. Make sure we're unloaded. Alright, and we're going to fold our stock. Alright, I'll set it back on this device here. Alright, so what we're going to do is take our rear takedown pin, push that through. Alright, and from here, what we're going to do is push the button on our folding adapter here and push the cup all the way in through, completely through the lower receiver. And lifting up, now before we clear it, we're going to make sure we capture the cup because it is under tension. And then from here, we can just remove the complete assembly. And that's all there is to it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to give us a call on the tech line or reach out to Law Tactical directly. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.